Hey, BIS 302. We have less than 3 weeks to go. How's that? Okay. So I want to keep putting videos out to help you guys. So let's talk about a few things first, like housekeeping matters. The lit review. Go right to it. Many of you are not going to be happy with your score. I don't want you to have panic attacks. I've had students tell me that. Don't, just relax. Um, you know, you can, what I did for most everyone is I wrote a comment saying, reach out, contact me if you'd like to improve the work, okay? Because what I'm doing here, of course, is giving anybody that wants to do a redo, you can do a redo on your lit review, all right? That's if you've turned it in already and got scored. If you haven't turned it in yet, then you just got to turn in the original and hope for the best, okay? But if you have any questions and you need some clarity on how I scored it or what you should do, set up a call with me, set up a meeting with me, okay? But you will be able to redo it, fix it, okay? So for many people, I mean, it could be something as simple as you used the wrong font for the whole paper. Remember, Times New Roman 12-point font, it's all over the place. That's standard, that's what it is, and I've made that clear, and if you didn't do it, it might have been just a slip. So Times New Roman 12-point font. You need to do a reference list, okay, and you need to put it together APA style, and I'd like it to be, I mean, it has to be indented paragraphs, no spaces, just double line space the whole thing. So you don't put spaces between your references, you just double line space everything and do a hanging paragraph. If you don't know what a hanging paragraph is, look it up, okay? Don't just assume it's a paragraph and that I'm just saying some old-fashioned thing like hanging paragraph. No, hanging paragraph is a thing. If you don't know what it is, look it up, okay? Also, your in-text citations, make sure they were done correctly. If I said something about them, then you know how you need to improve that area. Okay, this is all structural stuff, obviously. A lot of you did okay on the substance, but there's a structure to this paper, and if you don't meet that, you can't get through. You can't. This isn't a free-flowing creative project. It's very strict. It's a disciplined project. Okay, so I want to, like, if you saw zeros in some things, some categories in the rubric, that means get it back to me. It also means that you can improve it greatly because of those zeros. Because there isn't really a tragedy. For example, you didn't put a reference list down. I gave you 0 for your sources because I'm not digging them up out of that paper, okay? And again, had an issue come up, first time ever. It's not an annotated lit review, okay? So it's not blurb, reference, blurb, reference, blurb, reference. It is a review of literature that goes in the paper. If you have any questions about anything, look in the samples that I provide. Don't go to Google and just guess, you know, that you're going to hit it, okay? Look at the samples I provide, all right? Now, many of you got off on changing the topic we discussed. Changing that statement that I discussed was so important, word for word, okay? And then you just came up with something completely different, okay? And I told everyone, use that when you're asked for a statement or a problem or something. Base everything off of that, okay? So you need to get back to that. Don't go all ambitious again. Don't promise to discover things that you can't possibly do. Don't promise to, don't promise you're going to be able to analyze more than what you're going to get, okay? All right, take it down. This is a low-end, small, amateur research project, okay? We're not pros out there getting paid to do this. Let's take it easy, okay? When we all learned how to write, we didn't just start with, you know, cursive essays. No, we had to print block letters first, things like that. When you learned how to drive, you didn't just go out on the highway. Maybe you did, but you know, maybe you went to an empty parking lot and learned how to drive, okay? So this is starting. Don't think that you've got to be all ambitious just to impress me or something. It won't work. It's going to be the opposite. Okay? Don't think you have to reinvent the wheel. Don't think you have to give me colorful graphic cover pages. No, especially on a lit review. It's just a chapter in your paper. Okay? Now, another thing. Stop putting yourself in the paper. Okay? I've talked to each person individually about that. I've written it on the instructions and everywhere that I can, and I've discussed it on video. Do not put yourself in. If I see I, me, my, I don't even want to see you, us, we. Okay, learn how to write that way. Experiment, try it. You have to try. If you have trouble with a sentence, like I said, you get a hold of me and I will tell you how to write that sentence. Okay, and get you over that hump. I don't want you spinning your wheels. All right. Okay, regarding the worksheet, so lit reviews. All right, get a hold of me if you want to redo it. We'll talk about it, and we will go from there. First secret word of the day is redo. Okay, that's one of those you're going to get to me later, right? Redo. All right, now moving on. Worksheets. The worksheets you did, the 4 or 5 methods worksheet, I've scored everything I got. I'm sure more might be coming. That's fine. They're prompts, basically. They're going to help you write the sections of the paper that you need for your proposal. Okay. So I would highly recommend you go in and you look in. I think it's module 3 or 4 that has samples in there of proposals. Take a look at it. Get some context about what I'm looking for, so you don't overthink it, okay? And you don't underthink it. Get some context. Like I say to my students, if you put your proposal next to another next to the sample proposal and squint your eyes and they look really alike, then you're in pretty good shape, because that's the kind of structure we need. All right. And then get your substance in there. So the worksheets are prompts for you to write those things. I didn't go in those worksheets and analyze everything you said. I didn't go in there and value everything you said or correct anything you said. All right, I'm leaving you to that. Those are 20-point worksheets. The big ones are the lit review, the proposal, the final paper. You get a lot of feedback from me on those, and sooner the better. So the only thing I put in the worksheets was remember to get yourself out. A lot of you answered those prompts in the worksheet with I, my, me, that. Okay, fine. That's fine. But I want you to remember that when you take it to the proposal and the final paper, you don't appear. So experiment with writing without you in those papers. Again, this isn't introspective. I'm not asking you the significance of the study to tell me that you want to go into a particular business. Okay? The significance of the study is much more highbrow and idealistic, okay? Fundamentally, the significance of the study is that you will add knowledge, however incrementally, you'll add something to the great body of knowledge in your field. Okay, that's the ideal significance of your study. Also, your study could help some incremental way guiding some business strategy or things like that. But don't overdo it. Don't overpromise and make believe like you're writing a paper on how to, cure starvation in the world. Okay, we're not. We're doing a project that has parameters, and that's how researchers do it. They don't overpromise. Okay. All right. So those worksheets are good. You do them. It's an exercise in thinking, and I give you 20s. When I see some substance in there, looks like you've considered the points well, and onward we go. Okay, so now I have, let's see, I'm already at 8.5 minutes, and I want to talk about surveys, okay? Promised you guys to tell you how to do a survey. By the way, let's do number 2. Cue number 2 is going to be prompts, okay? So you remember the first one, the second one is prompts, all right? Now, surveys, all right. Surveys, I recommend going to SurveyMonkey or Typeform. I've used them both. The problem is it's 10 question limit for free, and nobody needs to pay. I don't want you to pay. 10 questions is the limit, so most surveys should have at least 12 to 15, because the first one is always going to be like gender, second one's going to be age, so you're knocked out 2 already. I like to get it. If you can do it in 8, great, 8 more, whatever. But I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how to hack it, okay? So let's take a look. All right, SurveyMonkey, take 1. See if I can do this. All right. I don't know if I can see this here. Can I show this? All right. So, SurveyMonkey, I'm making a survey here, right? You can see that the first question is age. God, I don't know how, I'm sorry if this is going to be foggy. See, my first question is age there. You create these questions, right? Different types. If you need some help, let me know. Otherwise, it's pretty intuitive, and you guys are, generation, whatever you are nowadays. But okay, so I got that. I've got the gender. Let me see here. Oh yeah, okay. The gender is a drop-down box, and this is going to be like impossible for me to do this from here, but I'll try it. Oh God, I did something. Sorry. So The gender is a drop-down box, and I have M, F, and O as the way to ask that question. All right. Okay. So then after that I have age. That's the only open-ended question I have, and it's must be over 18 or over, and they can write their own age in. Don't group the ages. Group them later. Now here's another one. This is a Likert scale. Okay. You can see the sliding scale of intensity. You can develop that. How satisfied are you in your current home, apartment, condo? To the far left, I've got miserable. To the center, it's okay. To the far right is thrilled. Okay, so you can do anything with these Likert scales, and they give you intensity. Anytime you think of a yes or no question, use that. Okay. Here's another one about a column, a rating thing that's really cool. Please rate the following areas where we'd ideally like to live. And you see what I did there? I made, I hope that's clear there, but I made that you can rank things, or each one can be ranked, in intensity. So, and that's only one question. Okay, remember that. That's good. Okay. All right. So here's the hack. Here's a good hack. The hack is choose all that apply. Okay. Now, you notice in choose all that apply, you can choose a lot of different things, okay? So I made it so that you can almost ask 3 or 4 questions, or at least 2 or 3, and each choose all that apply. So my choose all apply is, I own a house, I rent an apartment, I rent a house, I own a condo, I rent a condo, I rent a room, live with my parents, I have no plans to buy a home in the foreseeable future, I will buy a home in the next 2 years. Buying a home is an important goal of mine. Buying a home is not very important to me. So you can see I'm asking a lot of questions in there. I'm getting a lot of answers to that one question, choose all that apply. Okay, so consider that when you're building this, you don't run out of questions. I mean, write your questions, fine. When you get to the point where you know that you've got too many, use a choose all that apply to double up, triple up even, okay? So instead of me asking, choose the one that applies to you, where you live. I own a house, I rent an apartment, I rent a house, rent a condo, rent a parents, okay? And then another question says, what are your plans to, do you have any plans to buy a home in the next 2 to 5 years or whatever? And, multiple choice, I will buy a home. Buying a home is an important goal. Or is buying a home an important goal to you? Instead of saying that with a Likert scale, you just choose it. Buying a home is an important goal of mine. Buying a home is not very important to me. Okay, you can squeeze in a little more data that way and keep it to 10. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about that. Well, I think that's an important hack to get you through a substantial survey that will work for you. Some of you may get in with those 8 questions outside of gender and age. That's fine too. Just make sure you have enough data to work with. You can send me the survey. I'll take a look at it, your questions, how you create it. You can let me know if you have problems creating it. If you guys want to, what I offer each of my classes, if you want to send me your survey link when it's finished, I can do an announcement in this class, and we can share our survey links with classmates. That guarantees you a lot of respondents too. Now it could skew the data a little bit because you're getting a response from college students, but if you think you might have trouble getting an appropriate response, then do that, okay? Send me that link. My face-to-face class is doing that, okay, and I'm offering that to my online classes. All right, so I think we got it then, and the final thing will be, let's say, monkey, okay, for SurveyMonkey. So you remember all 3 of those things I gave you? That'll be worth 5 points. Send me an email. I appreciate you watching. You guys are doing great, okay? Like I said, I'm harsh on the lit review scoring, and I admit it, okay? Because I want to get your attention and I want to get it quick. And once we get it corrected, you'll come correct. I guarantee it. I see such improvement from lit review to proposal. Usually, it's amazing. So, but what I want to say is, do it over, improve it, fix it. But let me know you're going to do that, and talk to me about how you're going to do that. Okay? I have phone call availability a lot. All right, and I want to stay connected. Okay, so good. We're about 15 minutes. You've earned it today. I'm going to get this thing uploaded. Great. I'm going to see the Phoenix Rising soccer team tonight. Having fun with that. I hope you guys are doing great where you are, and the weather's not too bad if you're out of state. All right, so take care. Forks up.